can go ahead.
Excited for the opportunity. It's great to be back home. It's our pink game. The opportunity to wear pink and raise awareness and help continue the fight that Coach Kay Yao put in place for all of us in women's basketball. We're just really excited. We're playing a really good Ole Miss team whose record is deceiving. They're just extremely talented, extremely athletic, do so many things really, really well. And, we have been really pleased with our kids and their response. Obviously, last time out against Georgia, that hurt. There's no question about it, and it's all in our response. And the response in practice has been unbelievable, and I'm really proud and feel like we're going to be prepared and can go out and execute the game plan against a really good Ole Miss team.
James, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I know you've been preaching all season that this team has no bad losses and they should keep their heads high, and they're still undefeated against unranked teams this season. So how much have you kept that in their head and been reminding them the position that they're in at this point in the season?
Well, we have such great leadership, and these kids, like I've mentioned before, since March the 13th, had one common goal, one a way that they wanted this season to go. And so I don't really think that I have to remind them a lot. We have communication. My communication with them is more about, hey, you're a really good basketball team, and we have a lot to look forward to. And again, I've said this before, we can either be frustrated about what's happened here lately through a rough stretch, or fascinated, enjoy, embrace, be thankful. And that's how they've approached it. They've just gone back to work, and we had probably our best day of practice on Saturday. That's hard to do in February. And so the thing for me as a coach has been to trust them, love them, support them, stay positive. And we've tried to make sure that we protect them as far as their legs, yet continue to be prepared. And I feel like our staff, everybody around the program's got such great energy, and I'm really proud of who they're all trying to be every day. And that's all we can ask for right now.
Katie?
Hey, Coach, you just kind of talked about it with the strong practice on Saturday and getting their legs rested, but how needed was this off weekend, no games-wise, both physically and mentally, heading to this final stretch of the season?
Well, it's honestly, it's never fun to head into a bye week after a loss, especially the way that happened. And at the end of the day, again, it's about a response. But I think anytime you can have an opportunity to rest, that each individual around the program has to embrace how they handle that. Rest is important. Hydration is important. Nutrition is important. But beyond that, it's mind over matter right now. And so, like you just mentioned, it's not only the physical aspect, but the mental aspect. And we feel like as a staff that we've put them in that position this weekend. And now as a team, we have to respond.
Roger?
Coach, you had a lot of big wins down the stretch last year, but it really started with a comeback victory at Ole Miss. Just what do you remember about that fourth quarter and the way you were able to grind out that win that set up some really memorable moments down the road?
Well, after watching that, I learned a lot of things I wish I'd have done better, and I remember watching it a year ago and feeling the same way. So probably came out of it more upset at some things I wish I'd have done different, but thankful for the win. They're such a different team, Roger. I mean, they've got, 4 new starters? So it's really hard to compare that and impact players that they have. So it's it was helpful. It's always helpful to go back and watch, and we do that, but it's so different because of the number of new faces they have. So it was a little bit of both that helped, but also, I think the thing is there's such a different team. And one thing you mentioned earlier about our run in February, we definitely remind the kids of that. And we've always emphasized we're at our best in February. That's when this team has been and will always be. And as coaches, that's what you want your team to be, playing its best basketball in February. I don't think we've been playing bad basketball. I think we've been playing really good teams. And so we have to continue to remind them that February, it's when we're at our best, and we continue to try and do that every day.
James?
Yeah, Coach, you kind of touched on it there with their freshmen, and they get over 20 points per game from true freshmen on that Ole Miss team. So how do you slow down a team like that where you don't have much tape on the players that are going to be giving them big production?
Well, we have what we have from this season, and obviously watched all those kids play in the summer. So, they have three really good freshmen. And when you're in a building mode and they've blended that with a transfer and Shakira Austin, and man, I tell you what, Coach Yo's doing a great job of building our program, and we've got to understand that they've got more depth. And how do we counter that? We've got to have better bench play from someone beyond Destiny Rice. So I'm so proud of her and how she's come in, but we can't go in and give up a bucket off an inbounds. We can't miss a layup. We can't come in and shoot a quick three and that give up to a layup on the other end. So it's a game of mistakes, and I think that their bench is really, really good. They've changed their starting lineup an awful lot. For many reasons, whether it's COVID or combinations or matchups, I'm not sure, but we've got a bench problem due to our injuries. And there's no excuse, but the people that come off our bench are going to have to play well tomorrow night because we're going to have a hard time if we don't at least match production-wise and mistake-wise Ole Miss.
Any other questions? All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for joining. You guys have a good day. Roll Tide.